From my experience, I'm going to share 10 things that I do as a beauty therapist to make my clients happy. A lot of these things, we're supposed to do them anyway, we're trained to do these things, but there are times where we forget to do it and we don't do these things. So I wanted to share some of them to remind you that they do really make the client happy. Some of these things really depend on what sort of client they are, so keep that in mind. And I do have a few things in there that's really personal because it's kind of based on the type of beauty therapist that I am and the way that I like to work, but I still really wanted to share them just in case they're helpful. So the first thing that we're all supposed to do, but sometimes we may forget, that's why I've mentioned it in here, is when you're doing a facial, tell the client what you're going to be focusing on. So normally we do a consultation where the client tells us their concerns, and then when we do get into the treatment room, we cleanse and then we bring the mag lamp, we look at their skin, tell them what we see, and then carry on with the rest of the facial. But there are times where we look through the mag lamp, we take notes in our head but we don't really say it out loud, and then we get on with the facial. But if we tell the customer what we see and what we're going to focus on, it's going to make them feel like that facial is really tailored for them. Some clients really know what they want, so even when they're booking the facial, they might say, I want this facial to be focused on extractions, or as soon as you take them into the room they tell me that they want me to focus on extractions. But I could possibly look under this mag lamp, see their concern, which is blackheads, but I might also see some sensitivity or some dryness, so I could also mention that and say, oh, because I'm seeing this on your skin, I'm going to use this sort of mask to put hydration in, or I'm going to use this sort of cleanser to help with your sensitivity. And they do really like that. And then you get some clients who have no clue, they don't know what their skin's like. So they love it when you look under that lamp and you tell them what you see on their skin, because they don't know. The next thing that I do that clients love is making sure that the heated blanket is turned on, and that I also have a blanket that I could put on top of them. This is mainly like during the colder weathers. When a client is getting a facial done or a massage done, they're lying there for a certain amount of time and they are going to get cold. This does depend on your client, so if they're a client who's in menopause and they experience hot flushes, they like it off. So it does depend, but the majority from what I've seen love the heated blanket. The next thing that I do that my clients love is when I'm waxing them, when I rip the strip off, I then put pressure with my hand. So we're trained to do this anyway. I'm hoping that you were. It's like when you knock your arm or knock your toe or little toe, you kind of hold it because it helps with the pain. It's the same sort of concept when you're waxing as well. My teacher, she said with the legs, so let's just say I've done half of that leg, one side, I've ripped all of that wax off. She then said just glide your hand across the area that you've waxed just to calm the nerves down, and that really helps. You don't always have to do pressure with each strip when it comes to the legs, because then you're going to be there for a long time. If you quickly wax that area and then glide your hand on top to calm the nerves down, that works as well. And then another thing that I do, which does vary on clients, is I wax with smaller sections. From the feedback that I get, and even when I've personally been waxed, there is a preference of doing smaller sections because it's less painful. Some clients want bigger sections because it's done quicker. Sometimes I have to do small sections, sometimes I don't really have a lot of choice because the hair is really long or it's in different directions, and I have to do smaller sections because of the direction of the hair growth. But from the feedback that I get, they say, oh, it wasn't that painful. The pain is a lot less when you do smaller sections. Another thing I do, which does depend on the type of client I have, but when I'm doing a massage and I'm trying to find knots around the shoulder blade, which is quite common, I wish I had a model, but I basically grab my thumbs and I do really small pressure points around the shoulder blade, and then a lot of the time I find a knot exactly where it is, I can feel it, and then I push down on it for a maximum of 10 seconds. This is just how I was taught, where if you do find a knot, you push on it for no more than 10 seconds, and then hopefully that will release tension. There are clients who find this too painful and they don't like it, but a lot of clients like the fact that I found their knots and I am working on it. There's this one client that I've got in mind in particular. All she wants me to do throughout that massage is pressure points. She says it hurts, but it's like a good pain because she feels like it is releasing tension. She feels almost a little bit more mobile after this massage. So yeah, this thing does depend on the client, but a lot of the time people like it when I do pressure points and I sort of work on the knots. Another thing that I do, which again depends on the type of beauty therapist you are and the type of client that you have as well, but with every facial that I do, even if it's like an electrical facial where it's not really relaxing, it's about results, I still try my best to make it a relaxing facial. Even if I'm cleansing, I make sure that I do almost massage movements when I am cleansing their face. Yeah, they want results, but they also want to feel relaxed, so they like the way I cleanse. I have had 1 or maybe 2 clients in my career where they felt like they wanted me to just be more when I'm cleansing, because they felt like it would be a more thorough cleanse if I'm really getting in there. I naturally am light-handed. I have worked in 2 spas as well, so I feel like I get it from that. It's like a habit, but a lot of my clients love it, so that is another thing that you can try out and see how it goes. Another thing that clients love is when I am gentle with a manicure. The last thing that a client wants is for them to be really uncomfortable and feel pain around the cuticles or feel that burning if you're buffing too fast. They're not gonna feel relaxed. They want to hand their hands over to you and they just want to relax. They don't want to be in pain. So clients love the fact that they don't have to worry about me accidentally cutting too deep and hurting them, or filing too harshly, buffing too harshly, holding their finger in a really awkward and hard position. So that's another thing that you could make sure that you try when it comes to doing a manicure. Another thing that we are supposed to do, but there are people who don't do it clearly because people have told, like clients have told me, I make sure that I really paint the sides of the nails. I've mentioned this in a video before, but a lot of clients have said, can you please make sure that you paint the sides and go really close to the cuticles? So clearly they have had a manicure before where this wasn't done, so they feel the need to tell me. When I was newly qualified, I did struggle to go on the sides. I remember my manager always used to remind me, make sure that you paint the sides. So this was all the way from the beginning. When people's nails grow really fast, they really prefer that you go as close to the cuticle as you possibly can because their nails grow so fast. If you don't go too close, they're gonna get that gap, that growth a lot quicker, and they're gonna have to get their nails done a lot sooner. So for their manicure to last, make sure that you cover the whole nail. The next thing that I do that makes some of my clients really happy, this is based on the type of beauty therapist I am, where I am light-handed naturally, and it does depend on the client, but when a customer has booked in a massage and they ask for light pressure, a lot of my colleagues physically cannot do a light massage because they're naturally heavy-handed. I personally love doing a light massage. As much as I love digging my elbow into the client and working on their knots, there are clients out there that don't want that. They want a relaxing light massage without their knots being worked on because they find it painful, and those sorts of clients always request me because I am naturally light-handed and I am able to do the pressure that they like. So it is good if you're able to do both a light massage and a strong massage, just to cover a variety of clients and make them happy. And then the final thing that I do, well, I used to do this when I worked in the spa. I just realised that this tip may not be useful during this time, but when I used to work in the spa, if I had a client who had a cold or had a blocked nose, at the end of their treatment I would put a drop of eucalyptus oil on a tissue and I would give it to them so that they can breathe that eucalyptus oil in, just to help unblock their nose. They just feel more looked after and it just makes them really happy. Obviously now, if you have any sort of cold symptoms and a cough or anything like that, you just cancel your appointment. But before COVID and like before, when I used to work in a spa and we used to have these essential oils, this is something that I used to do and my clients used to love it. So if you do work in a spa, that is something that you could possibly do for your clients and it will make them really happy. So those are the things that I personally do. Even though it changes from person to person, I am still hoping that this video was helpful. and I hope to see you next time. Bye.